Did you see that? Offender. There he is.
What is up, besties? We are back with another Catfish episode. In the last video, if you haven't seen it, you probably should. It's about Vice and The Bachelor, so you know it's perfect. But like I said, I wanted to show off my tree. So December, all of the videos are going to be filmed here. We are going to be covering a bit of an earlier episode with an insane plot twist that I have not really heard anybody talk about. This episode is really shocking. There are so many twists and turns, but make sure you stay to the end to figure out what exactly happened here. This is Miranda and Cameryn, season 3, episode 8. Since it is an earlier episode, we are here with Neve and Max, and we start off with an email from Miranda. She is 21 years old and she lives in a small town in Minnesota. She has been in love with Cameryn since 2011, which means they've been together for about 3 years. But of course, they have never met. And of course, the pictures are definitely giving Tumblr famous boy kind of vibes, very much giving Catfish. I can't lie to you. Miranda says that they speak on the phone every single night, but they have never video chatted. Miranda says that she was never suspicious of him being a catfish until she went to Santa Monica, California, where he said that he lived, and he refused to meet. He literally gave her every single catfish excuse in the book. Now here's one of the many shocking twists that are in this episode, because she actually confronted Cameryn about being a catfish and all of his other lies, and he actually came clean. He said that his real name is James, he lives in Atlanta, he has never lived in California, and sent new pictures of himself.
Oh Lord.
Now, these pictures definitely look like a less famous kind of vibe person, less catfish per se, but at the same time, he looks a lot older than the original pictures, so it's like, what's going on here? Miranda acknowledges that he could very well still be lying to her, but she is not ready to let go of him. She says that she wants to find out the truth, and she hopes that their relationship can actually keep moving forward. You shouldn't want that. You shouldn't want that. Neve and Max, rightfully so, believe that he is a lying liar who lies, and he's going to continue to do nothing but lie. But they hop on a video call with Miranda, and she is extremely excited to see them. She says that when they first started talking, she did not want a relationship. She was just looking for some kind of emotional support. But she has yet to explain how we got from just wanting a friendship to being in love, accepting the fact that you are being catfished, and still committing to said lying catfish. We don't know how she got there yet. She then tells us that she was actually the one to figure out that she was being catfished after seeing the real guy tagged in a club photo. His name is Josh, not Cameryn. After she confronted Cameryn about this, he initially did not admit anything. He just stopped talking to her for a while.
I tried to interrogate him and question him. He didn't talk for a while.
He just ghosted her. He said, "Oh, you figured out I'm a catfish? Disappear. Disappear. I don't want to talk about this." But eventually they started talking again because Miranda said that she craved that deep emotional support. When they started talking again, that's when he came clean and sent the pictures of himself and putting air quotations around all of that because I don't know if I believe any of that. Despite him looking nothing like the original pictures, Miranda is adamant that she is still attracted to him. Despite him allegedly coming clean, they have yet to video chat because Miranda has some sort of gut feeling that he is still lying about who he is, and she is not ready to be confronted with the truth, or at least she wasn't ready on her own, and that's why she's contacting Catfish. But she says that despite her gut feeling that he is still lying to her, she is still deeply in love with him.
Girl.
Okay, girl, it's time to cut it off. It's time to cut it off, because what are we doing? But I also have a little bit of an urge to cut her a little bit of slack because she is 21, but like, we need to be serious here for a second. But they hop off the call and they head right over to meet Miranda in person as the crew is already in Minnesota. So we meet Miranda, but we also meet Miranda's mother, Marianne. Marianne says that this situation is very hard because Miranda is just consistently heartbroken by this person. The situation has given Miranda a lot of trust issues, so her mom is ready for her to kind of confront the whole situation and put everything to the side behind her, wherever the heck it has to go for her daughter to no longer be upset about it. So Miranda then sits down with the guys and talks with just the 3 of them, and she tells us that her mom has Crohn's disease, and her mom has had this disease since she was 18. But the last few years have been quite tough as her illness has continued to progress and not in a positive way. Miranda tells us that her mom has become quite limited in what she can do, so she tries to just cherish the time that she has with her mom since her mom's Crohn's is terminal.
My mom has Crohn's disease. It's gotten really bad. The disease is terminal.
For those who don't know, Crohn's disease is a type of inflammatory bowel disease with no cure. It causes swelling in the digestive tract, and it can lead to stomach pain, severe diarrhea, fatigue, weight loss, malnutrition, bowel obstructions, fistulas, abscesses, and more. It can also increase your risk of other illnesses, including but not limited to cancer. Now, it is not always terminal, but in Miranda's mom's case, it is. I feel like this completely explains why Miranda is accepting all of this from the catfish. She's genuinely accepting anything that they're throwing her way because she's in desperate need of support and companionship. She needs some sort of stability while having a terminally ill parent and trying to deal with the reality that she could be without her mother very soon. I want to just send my love to anybody who is dealing with family members around them who are terminally ill, or anybody who's just kind of struggling with the loss of a loved one. It can be extremely hard, and it can also make you become vulnerable to a lot of emotional manipulation and a lot of trauma that you would not have been susceptible to in the first place had that person not passed away or been sick. But like, honestly, let's keep it real. This catfish for manipulating this sweet girl in her time of need. Because it's clear that they are lying to her, and it's clear that they are using her, but exactly what they're using her for is unclear. Miranda then tells us that Cameryn's sister has leukemia, so they were able to bond over the shared experience of having a loved one be sick.
I know exactly how I'm feeling, just angry and upset. I knew exactly how I felt.
This is really gonna aggravate me because I just know something in me is just telling me, Jada, this is a lie. This is a bold-faced lie, okay? It's just something that catfishes do. They lie about people being sick to have an excuse to not meet up, but also in circumstances like this, to bond, to become closer, to create a false sense of closeness in the relationship that isn't actually there. We then get yet another plot twist when we find out that not only did Miranda go to visit Cameryn in California, Miranda actually moved to Los Angeles. Yeah, she moved to LA. She wanted to go to fashion school, and her two main choices were New York and LA. And because Cameryn is in California, it seemed like a no-brainer to go to LA to be close to him, to finally be with him in person.
So you must have been really excited Cameryn was in Santa Monica.
Honestly, that's one of the reasons why I moved out to California.
Not only that, but she kept her main motivation, her main reason for wanting to move to LA from a lot of her close friends and loved ones, because she did not want to be judged.
You done lost your damn mind.
Girl, what?
Bombastic side eye.
Ladies, collectively, can we please be smarter? Can we please be safer? It is not a good idea to base the decision to move strictly around a man, and more specifically around a man that you have never met, and also more specifically a man that you've never met who's been lying to you about who he is. Now, after she moved, of course, problems started to arise when it came to meeting up.
There was, problems, and his phone was off.
Miranda says that she eventually just got sick of trying, so she stopped asking. When she found out that Cameryn was actually using Josh's pictures to catfish her, she reached out to Josh. She just kind of let him know, and he was of course pissed, and she was of course pissed too. After confronting Cameryn with all of this information, he denied it, so that's when they stopped talking. Now, fast forward a couple of months, she's struggling in LA, she has no support system, she kind of low-key moved out there for a man, and the man doesn't exist. So she had to move back home. But when she moved back home, after being home for a little while, she said, you know what I'm missing? Someone lying to me, someone deceiving me, someone not being honest with me. That's not really what she said, but in my mind, that's what happened. She said that she missed that emotional support, and Cameryn was truly the only one there for her.
A lot of my friends in Owatonna weren't my friends anymore. They just kind of wrote me off.
So they reconnected. And that is when he told her that his name was actually James from Atlanta, not Cameryn from California. He says that he catfished her because he has problems at home that he kind of wanted to escape. What troubles are we talking about? Because it could literally be anything, and not in a good way anything. Miranda and Cameryn have over 10,000 messages shared between the two, so they clearly talk a lot. And this is aside from the times they speak on the phone. Miranda admits that she regularly thinks about marrying Cameryn and moving forward with the future, or James or Cameryn or whoever the heck this even is at this point.
Were you thinking about marrying this guy?
Yeah.
But in order to marry him, she needs to know the truth, and she gets emotional before the Catfish crew heads out.
Be nice. I'm finding it.
I think that at this point, Miranda is in love with the idea of being in love, not really with a person, because she doesn't know who this is, and they've lied to her. So in my mind, it's kind of impossible for love and lies to coexist in the same space. But in the car, Neve and Max basically say that if they find out the Catfish is taking advantage of a sweet girl with a sick mother, they're gonna jump him. Honestly, can't say that I blame them, but also know that they didn't exactly say this. It was heavily implied.
Manipulating this poor girl with a sick mom.
I'm gonna get really upset.
The next day, we get to investigating in a hotel, not a cafe. But I'm not entirely surprised by that because we are in quite a small town. The guys start by reverse image searching pictures of James, but we do not get any hits. We then get arguably our most shocking twist of the episode, at least so far, when they Google James's full name, the name that was given to Miranda, and it comes back linked to a sex offender.
There he is. Aliases. What do we have?
Yikes.
Cut the cameras.
I don't even know what to say. I really don't even know what to say. They then go to the guy's arrest report, and one of his aliases is the name that the Catfish gave to Miranda after coming clean about catfishing. It says that he was arrested for traveling to meet a minor in order to commit an unlawful sexual offense, which is absolutely horrific considering Miranda was very close to being a minor if she was not herself a minor when she started talking to the Catfish. The guys then see that this James is currently incarcerated for what we just spoke about, and Max suspects that this is the reason that he cannot meet her and he can't really video chat her because then she's going to see that he's in prison.
He's in jail.
But Neve then jumps in and he says that there's absolutely no way that she is having such an involved romantic relationship with this man while he's in jail because they don't get unlimited phone time like that.
You don't get countless hours at the middle of the night and in the morning and on the internet.
Now, Neve. He is convinced that this is a complete dead end, but Max is not. And I will say that people in prison, they do have internet access. They do have access to phones. They do have access to video calls. They have access to all of those things, sometimes through the prison, but not through the prison. Sometimes they have cell phones and the use of social media, not through the prison. If you pick up what I'm putting down, okay? Like, prison talk is a very real thing, and I know that it didn't start with prison talk. When I say that I know it didn't start with prison talk, I'm specifically speaking about the usage of cell phones that are not given to them by the prisons, if you pick up what I'm putting down. So it is possible that this person, the offender, is in fact the Catfish. However, it's unclear if that is likely or if that is even what is going on, but it's a possibility. They then decide to run James's current phone number, and Neve gets way too close for Max's comfort.
I don't like it when you touch me. I don't like to feel your body warmth
Give me
or the
something,
hair
give
on
me
your
a
chest.
hit.
The phone number comes back linked to a woman named Hang, who was born in 1970 and lives in Georgia. They go on Facebook to search for this woman and they find her right away. And it never crossed their mind that this was in fact the Catfish. It was always like, okay, well, this is probably the Catfish's mom. So they go into her list of family and they see that she does have a son listed named James. However, this James is clearly not the James that was in the pictures that Miranda was sent the second time around. At this point, the guys have no idea who the Catfish is, and they decide to share what information they were able to find with Miranda. So as of right now, she is either being catfished by an offender, a predator, who is currently in prison, or an entirely different man named James. Either way, she is still being lied to and taken advantage of emotionally by whoever is behind this. But we then meet up with Miranda, her best friend Logan, and her sister Jordan. They sit down and get into what they were able to find with everybody. They are all, of course, gobsmacked, shocked, and horrified to see the mugshot and the list of charges for who she may be speaking to. When they show the group the other James, they still seem to be in shock about the first James, the picture of the offender. But Miranda says that she is going to stay open-minded.
I'm gonna stay open-minded.
Open-minded? Girl, close it. Close it. Do not be open-minded to this. It looks like there's really no good scenario for how this episode is going to end. But open-minded is not the word, it's not the feeling that you should have after what they showed you. Neve steps outside to give whoever the hell this is a call and try to convince them to meet up. James answers right away, and to me it does sound like a man on the phone.
Yeah, hi, is this James?
Yes, who's this?
But we know catfishes switch up their voices all the time. Neve briefly fills him in and asks him to meet up with Miranda. James does not seem open to that whatsoever. He claims that he loves her, but he vaguely mentions that he has a lot of stuff going on.
I do love her, it's just, I just have a lot going on right now.
What does that even mean? Don't know. Neve really does his best to convince him by saying that Miranda will be moving on if this meetup doesn't happen. This seems to do the trick, and James agrees, but begrudgingly. Neve tells him that they're about to head to Atlanta, and James needs to prepare to be honest before they hop off the call. It sounds like good news because he agreed to meet up, but I do not have a good gut feeling about this. Miranda is excited, and she says that she still believes James is the guy in the second set of pictures she was sent, and I don't know why she believes that because nothing points to that. And I also wish the guys and maybe her friends and family who were there would have prepared her a little bit better, because I really do not think the guy in the pictures is going to be who the catfish is. Nothing points towards that, but everything points towards it being anyone but that. The next day, the crew lands in Atlanta. Miranda immediately calls James to tell him that they've landed, but he sends her right to voicemail. Which is really, really not a good sign at all. The next morning, everybody is absolutely stressed because they have yet to figure out a meeting place, a meeting time with Mr. Catfish. Nobody has heard anything from James, no messages, no calls, nothing, not a zip zilch. Neve tries to call him, but he gets sent right to voicemail. Neve leaves a voicemail kind of just encouraging him to meet up, to call back, to follow through with what he said he was gonna do. He then sends a text message saying basically the same thing. And in both the text message and the voicemail, he says no pressure, but there's clearly a lot of pressure. There is a lot of pressure.
No pressure. Hey, James, no pressure.
The crew then meets back up with Miranda, who is excited and ready to meet him, but they then have to break the news to her that James is kind of low-key ghosting them. She really didn't think that he would bail. She did not consider that that was a possibility. So she is heartbroken, and it's clear that she really wants to cry, but at this point, she doesn't. Nobody comforts her, so that's a little bit awkward, but the crew can't really do anything because they don't have an address. They don't have really anything to go off of, so they are at the catfish's mercy. They can't do anything but sit and wait around for hours. We get a montage of them waiting around for about 3 hours before they get 5 messages in a row from James or Cameryn or whoever this is from the catfish. The catfish sends them a series of very long, very convoluted, weird messages that essentially say that he's not meeting up. He says that he cannot meet up because of his family, but he thanks them for the opportunity.
What the hell is even that?
What an odd thing to say.
He says that while he can't meet in person, he is down to Skype at some point throughout the day. I don't know, y'all. The jail catfish theory thing is sounding more and more likely at this point. They meet back up with Miranda and tell her what's going on. She is pissed, and rightfully so. She then cries, which is really heartbreaking because she deserves so much more than this.
I'm gonna text him. Are you?
Instead of confronting Miranda, I meant comforting, not confronting. Oops. Neve and Max are focused on getting the catfish on Zoom while she's literally crying in the mirror. They're like, y'all could have taken 2 seconds and comforted that girl. Over an hour later, the catfish says that they are now ready to Skype. I almost said Zoom, child. I don't think Zoom was invented yet. James the catfish then says that they don't want Miranda to be there, which is a very weird request. And I think they thought that Miranda would be like, not in the room, like they'd make Miranda leave, but of course that's not what's gonna happen. They just ask Miranda to go off camera, just stand to the side. Duh. Like what? James answers the call, and we get what's arguably the second most shocking plot twist of this whole episode, because the person on the screen ends up shocking us all. It is a young woman named Gabby.
So
everyone is confused and upset after she admits that she has been the catfish this entire time. Gabby says that she actually did want to meet in person, but her family was adamantly against it. She then tells us that she's 18 years old.
How old are you?
18.
Which means she has been catfishing Miranda as Cam James since she was at least 15 years old. Gabby then says that she only thought of Miranda as a best friend, which, okay, we'll circle back to that in a second because that doesn't make sense. Especially after we find out that they were kind of having explicit conversations. And then she ends up being a minor for most of their relationship, but we'll circle back to that in a second. Gabby says that her family is really against her being on the show because they have no idea what exactly she would be on the show for. They do not know that she has been a catfish this whole time. She then admits that she does have romantic feelings for Miranda.
Your interest in Miranda is more than just as friends.
In my opinion, at least, she used this relationship to explore her sexuality. Now, this situation is a little bit puzzling because obviously Gabby is wrong for what she did. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. She was wrong. Like, you told this girl you lived in California. She then moved to LA to be closer to you. Then you came clean using a file's name and everything else in between. Like, there's just so much going on and it's all batshit crazy. And you also kind of use this girl who is looking for emotional support through a romantic relationship because she's trying to cope with the fact that her mom is slowly dying in front of her. You used her as a way to explore your sexuality. Like, all of this is fucked up, and then you have to take into account the fact that you are 18. Like, there's so much going on right now. But at the same time, you can kind of see that she's struggling with her sexuality and she's struggling with familial acceptance. And she is quite young, which makes it, I guess, a little bit difficult to be overly critical of her. But removing her age from the situation, she did a lot of fucked up things nonetheless. Like, without a doubt, she was wrong for what she did. All of this is just so messed up. And the fact that this girl literally packed up her whole life to be closer to you and you didn't even live there.
Yo!
All of it is so insane. It's so troubling. Gabby then says something, in my opinion, that is pretty manipulative when she says that she wants to come clean in a way that doesn't require her to lose her friendship with Miranda.
I wanted to tell her in a way that I would not lose her friendship.
Side eye. Side eye.
You just lied to her, manipulated her, did all these types of things for 3 years. So it's not really up to you to decide if you keep a friendship after this. But also, let's be honest, the basis of this relationship was romantic. You guys were never just friends. Honestly, Miranda's mind must be going a mile a minute, hearing all of this information and trying to digest and process, but also trying to figure out what the heck she's gonna say to this girl. If I were her, the thing that I would be struggling to comprehend and process is that she had been talking to and having a romantic relationship with a minor for at least 2 years, but without her knowledge. The guys encourage Gabby to speak to Miranda directly, and she eventually agrees to do so. Gabby compliments Miranda, tells her that she's beautiful, and Miranda says thank you, and she gets a little bit, I don't know, something was interesting there, I think.
You're very beautiful.
Thank you.
I think there was something going on there, but Miranda is ultimately too upset to be fazed by compliments. She says that if they do not meet in person, then it's very unlikely that any sort of friendship will continue in the future. Gabby agrees to meet in person and agrees also to answer any questions that she has honestly and truthfully. But honestly, I'm not really believing this because keep in mind, she said the reason she couldn't meet up was because of her parents. So I don't see what would be different, especially if you then came clean about everything that you did. Then I think they really would not want to let you out the house then. But Gabby says that she will message them later with a time and a meeting place before hopping off of the call. Miranda is obviously struggling to come to terms with everything. She's heartbroken. She invested so much time, so much money, so much effort, and so much love into the relationship that was a complete farce. And once again, the guys don't really comfort her a whole lot.
There's a lot of things that girl knows.
The next day, we meet back up and they head out to meet Gabby at a park that she requested to meet up at. Miranda says that she still feels like she is talking to James a little bit. And while she is upset, she is still understanding and empathetic towards Gabby. She says that she has gay friends and she understands how hard it can be to come out. And she feels like that was really a driving force behind Gabby's actions. But ultimately, she still feels like everything Gabby did was inexcusable, and I completely agree. But two things can be true. You can understand that it can be hard to come out. You can understand why she might have done this. And you can still also not forgive her and think that what she did was disgusting. Two things can be true. They arrive at the park. Gabby is not there. And Gabby will not be there. She sends a message to Miranda apologizing, but confirms that she will not be coming.
Text you?
Saying sorry again.
She says she really can't come. So again, to me, this reads as there's some sort of familial situation going on that she didn't really feel comfortable disclosing on camera. But at the same time, if you knew that you weren't going to be able to meet, you shouldn't have said that you were going to be able to meet. Max then says that he has a feeling that Gabby's problems are a lot deeper and a lot more difficult to solve than ours. Those are his exact words.
We're dealing with someone whose problems are a lot harder to solve than ours.
And Miranda knows this, hence the maturity on her part throughout this whole situation. But Miranda then starts to sob because why the hell would you say that? In my mind, this is truly the worst thing you could say at a moment like this. It was not comforting whatsoever. She is upset. She is heartbroken. The last thing she needs to hear is that what she is going through is so much smaller or much more insignificant in comparison to the person who has caused her this pain. The guys then try to comfort her a little bit before everybody heads home. In our 1 month follow-up, we speak to Gabby first. And Gabby says that she feels badly about what she's done to Miranda and wants to make amends. She says that she regrets not meeting, but her family did not allow her, so there was ultimately nothing she could do. She then tells us that she and Miranda are actually on good terms, which is shocking to me because of how the whole other part of the episode ended. But she then tells us that they speak regularly, they Snapchat, and they video call often.
Actually on good terms, and we've been like Snapchatting each other and FaceTiming, so.
She feels like their friendship has grown a lot. Shocking to me. Miranda says that she has forgiven Gabby and she's ready to move on with her life. She has a lot of empathy for Gabby and her circumstances. In my mind, this would mean that Gabby kind of opened up to her about the severity of the situation, and Miranda decided to, still keep things going. And when Neve says that he assumes their conversations are no longer romantic, Miranda smiles and she says, not really.
Your conversations are no longer romantic.
Not really.
Now, Miranda, what do you mean by not really, girl? What do you mean not really? She blushes and she says that the two of them flirt regularly. And she says that people do not have control over who they love, their gender, things of that nature. She then drops one final bomb on us when she tells us that Gabby is actually going to visit her very soon. Miranda says that the feelings she had cannot just vanish because Gabby is a girl.
Not something that can just be vanished just because of the fact that she's a girl.
Okay. I don't think that's why the feelings should vanish, girl. I don't think that's the issue. Gabby lied a lot. She manipulated you into moving across the country. We still don't know if she told the truth about her sister having leukemia. She took advantage of your trauma. She tricked you into having romantic relationships with a minor.
I am confusion.
I don't know. That doesn't feel good. That doesn't feel good. Everybody seems happy. This definitely seems like it was the best case scenario, which is not saying a lot because it looked pretty bleak at the beginning. However, I don't think that this is an ideal relationship for either of them just because of how it started. But at the end of the day, they, or at least at this point, they were two consenting adults, so they can do whatever the heck they want. If this allows them to figure out who they are individually and then maybe together, then maybe this worked out for the best. However, in my opinion, this is just not an ideal situation because of all the lies, the manipulation, and everything else that started off the relationship. I don't see how it could really change or alter from that, especially because Gabby was in a lot of those manipulative patterns, even when it came to the brief confrontation they did have. Also, the fact that Neve and Max were thrown off, and I don't want to say alarmed, but a little bit confused by the ending is, I think, all you need to really know, because they are always rooting for love in every single situation. But this time they didn't seem to be too thrilled about it. They seemed more confused than anything. But this doesn't feel like a good ending to me. Something about this is weird. If you think it's weird, you have to let me know what you're thinking down in the comments below. And if you made it all the way to the end of the video, you can put a little butterfly emoji in the comments, because I got butterflies embroidered on my shirt and they're really cute and I like it. This was a very weird episode. I honestly do not know how I feel about everything. I don't know how I'm supposed to feel. But I can tell you I don't feel good. I can tell you that much. Well, yes, the catfish, you thought it was going to be some criminal stuff going on. I don't know if this could be considered criminal, this ending. It's definitely suspicious to me, though. I just want to say, I have been seeing all of you post and tag me in your YouTube Wrapped, and I'm like in the top 5. I'm at the top of the top 5. There was one of you who was in like the 0.01% of my top viewers, and you viewed my videos over 1,000 times. Mind you, I have less than 200 public videos. So you guys are amazing. Amazing. I love you so much. You guys have changed my life in just a multitude of ways, and I'm so deeply grateful. So yeah, thank you for being here, and please keep sharing your YouTube Wraps with me because I want to see it. I want to see it. But yes, if you like the video, then make sure to like the video, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell notification so you are aware of every single time that I upload. If there's another episode, another series you'd like to cover, you can drop it down in the comments below, or you can leave me a DM here on Instagram. Make sure to go over there, and that way I can actually see your Wrapped, your top 5. You could show me over there. If you're like, oh my gosh, this video was not long enough, I recently uploaded a new video about Vice's documentary about The Bachelor, exposing it. Okay, it's a really good one. It's almost an hour. You don't want to miss it. Okay, so make sure you go check that out, and I'll see you guys in the next video.